Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marius Iragi Ziganira, a Congolese refugee living in Nakivale refugee camp in Uganda since 2018. I'm a licensed agricultural engineer from the Evangelic University in Africa, DRC, and a founder of Umoja Community Foundation in Uganda. It is both an honor and a great pleasure for me to participate in this great international COP27 conference as a representative of farmers and young refugees in our Nakivale refugee camp community in the carbon removals process. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to briefly recall the profile of the agropastoral sector of Nakivale refugee camp in Uganda. This camp is one of the oldest refugee camps in Africa, established in 1957, and just according to the UNHCR data, and has about 74 villages with a population of approximately 14,000 of different nationalities, including Congolese, Burundians, Rwandan, Sudanese, and etc., with the main activity being the subsistence farming. The production of food crops is organized by agricultural households groups or not in peasant organization, with areas cultivated annually varying 0.5 and 1 hectare. The production system is of the slash and bush type, low use of modern inputs, lack of capital and information of new agricultural initiatives, and application of new agricultural techniques or approaches. This situation benefits Ugandan producers but disadvantages local refugee producers and handicaps their local socio-economic development. Umoja Community Foundation is a peasant organization located in Nakivale refugee camp, serving refugees of all nationalities through its activities to raise awareness, group, and train refugee farmers on new techniques of regenerative or ecologic agricultural approaches from the Biochar program, with the main aim of improving the quality and agronomic efficiency of agricultural soils, supporting refugee subsistence farmers, and connecting Nakivale refugee camp to the world food market. Biochar is a coal or solid carbon of vegetable origin obtained mainly by pyrolysis of organic matter, that is, decomposition of agricultural or forestry residues or sawmill shavings by heat in the absence of oxygen. It's an artificial product of plant origin which takes the form of small black fragments. It is used for soil amendment and also stores carbon dioxide that the biomass has extracted from the atmosphere in the biochar. This is what makes it an excellent source of carbon removal from the atmosphere. Refugee farmers for decades have been manufacturing biochar while using poor methods of or archaic small-scale biochar production techniques, resulting in intense atmospheric methane production and inconsistent biochar quality. The problems of loss of efficiency or essential nutrients in eroded soils, poor agricultural production, as well as climatic disturbances are very pronounced in Nakivale refugee camp, where agricultural production fails to meet the demand of the local refugee population. To overcome and provide lasting solutions, Umoja Community Foundation has set up a Biochar program following technical, educational, and financial assistance from certain international organizations, including OpenAir, C-Capsule, and Bionerg, in order to improve the quality of agronomic efficiency of agricultural soils, to support refugee farmers by increasing agricultural production, and to meet and connect the demand of Nakivale refugee camp to the global carbon elimination market. These ovens are constructed with stainless steels, which better withstand extreme temperatures. The processes begin with 3 piles of wooden wood, then layers are added, and all 3 kilns burn out completely. Air is sent in circular swirls at the edge of each oven due to the shape of the shield walls, and air circulates freely between inner oven walls and outer shield walls. Each oven is equipped with a data box that indicates temperature data and weights while using a mobile phone, showing a set of files captured on this mobile phone and easy to send for validation and storage in the cloud. The data box has a local Wi-Fi signal to download data files and to monitor instant readings for verification. The Wi-Fi data box can only be activated using physical access key, and access is also password protected. The Kiln Tractor app is also password only accessible, and data uploads to the central data repository include verifiable time data and GPS data, ensuring that data submitted for validation can be confirmed as authentic. Bionerg's data validation process is established through a set of calibration passes in accordance with the methodology. From there, a set of algorithms learns from the calibration sets and determines the key parameters for the operation of the oven. From there, valid and abnormal operations can be distinguished as the basis of issuing C-Capsule carbon certificates. The important advantage of this approach is that it uses the very latest digital technologies to capture multiple sets of data from sets of distributed finance operations and to aggregate them. This helps to measure and recognize the community efforts of smallholder refugee farmers towards carbon removal, while spreading the unavoidable overhead of validation across main operations to make the process more affordable with agronomically effective impacts. That is, improving of agricultural soils by increasing production and the contribution of refugee farmers in the process of carbon elimination, as well as these farmers benefits from these carbon costs to support their agricultural activities and to fight against food insecurity or poverty. African countries remain agricultural oriented. They have significant agricultural and forestry residues, millions of tons, that can be recovered by transformation into biochar and thus contributes to the biological fertilization of soils and carbon elimination. My major ambition is for the biochar to be a new climatic and agricultural messiah in Africa in general, and particularly in our community through the popularization, implementation, and the training of this technology. OpenAir, C-Capsule, and Bionerg for the production of biochar in different African countries and elsewhere, because biochar makes it possible to sustainably store in the soil carbon initially captured by the plants in the atmosphere during photosynthesis. Is also an excellent soil amendment, and on a climatic level, biochar is arousing in mass interest because it is one of the only existing means capable of removing and storing carbon in the long term outside the atmosphere. To achieve this in our community, we need all educational, technical, and financial support to popularize this biochar production technology, because we are limited as a farmer, trainer, refugee extension work in all aspects, logistics and finance. These are two major challenges in our community, and hope in all African countries to carry out these projects wonderful and popularize it in other villages and communities in particular, and all African countries in general. I represented my organization, Umoja Community Foundation, the pilot production projects of biochar under the direct supervision of OpenAir, C-Capsule, and Bionerg here in Nakivale refugee camp. Following the sensitization, registration, and training of farmers taking refugee in this program, and today we have more than 500 beneficiaries spread over 7 villages out of the 74 villages in Nakivale refugee camp, with the experimental fields of corns, tomatoes, eggplants, and cabbage. As an agricultural engineer and a representative of my refugee community, I'm focused on the development of this biochar production project in our community, but also I'm available to bring my experience and give the best of myself in the popularization implementation, and training of these projects elsewhere in Africa countries in general and our community in particular, because this project has a potential impact in the agronomic improvement of agricultural soils of Nakivale, increasing in the production of refugee farmers, and they contribute in the process of elimination of carbon, while hoping that the carbon costs will contribute in supporting their agricultural activities. That is, purchase of quality seeds, agricultural garden tools, and relaunch of livestock activities. Pay school fees for their children, fight against food insecurity and poverty, among others. This new technology will be used more if widely by developing and building sustainable support in communities or countries of Biochar project intervention, supporting small refugee farmers by bringing alive methods that accompany them in climate restoration initiatives and activities is a necessary step to provide the support or sustained assistance to multiply the number of farmers who commit near 1. Improvements of agricultural soils, 2. Sequestration or removal of atmospheric carbon, 3. Ecological restoration and conservation, 4. Development or develop the initiatives of skills of young people through a good education, and lastly, the fight against poverty. The development and construction of this support or assistance involves constructing the trust of the refugee farmers through a participatory approach, and the capacities of refugees as groups that create self-management structures to ensure the sustainability of the support provided through various investments in equipment, infrastructure, education, and technology. We need your support or assistance, as well as your organization at all levels: moral, education, psychological, logistical, and finance. Our priority for financial support for the coming year is to initiate the new Ecological Technology Education Center building program or carbon removals to popularize this biochar production technology in other African communities and countries, while we continue to need support for the continuity activities of this pilot production project of biochar in Nakivale refugee camp. I firmly believe in it, and I thank you.